Guys, this camera just killed Fujifilm film simulations. I know it's gonna make a lot of you guys angry, but hear me out. I'm new to all of this. Some of the other creators expected this camera to be a bit polarizing, but we didn't expect our trip to be polarizing. I think some people forget that they can click the fuck off. Instead, they carry duty like the founding fathers of the internet. You're bored. But I'm not, and though this camera might be polarizing, I could give two shits about that. All I care about is the fact that it made me want to be creative, and dare I say, it helped me capture moments that I could be proud of. Because after all, this is a tool for art, and I'd rather keep it that way.
Hey, I need to be where the vibes at, know they never can stop me. I'ma be myself and be free, cause I know that they're watching.
Guys, I absolutely love Fujifilm film simulations. They changed the game, but there's been countless of times where I wish I could just dial it in a little bit more. I would imagine like putting in my own film curve or do a 3-way color grade, or hell, even putting like a HSL slider in there. It's like really dialing it in, but we just can't do that on the Fujifilm film simulations. But this new LUMIX S9 can do all that. Go over the differences real quick, and then we'll do a deep dive on this whole new, again, LUMIX pretty much created a whole new workflow for us. So let's do the comparison, and then we'll go over the workflow. Okay, ladies. So guys, I think the only like large difference between these two systems is the workflow. So Fujifilm makes it pretty concise and easy to use their film simulations like straight out of the box. But the only real customizations that you have is lowering or lifting the highlights and shadows, like making the colors a little more saturated with the color chroma effect and adding grain. That's pretty much all we get. And if you want to, you know, get a new film simulation, you kind of just have to wait for Fujifilm to come out with a whole new generation of cameras. And even with that, they're kind of just giving you what they want to give us. Like there's, you know, you don't get to really pick, but again, overall, they're really easy to use. Now, the LUMIX S9 can be really easy to use, but it could be kind of convoluted. Evan, how do you say that word? Convoluted, am I saying it right? It could be a little bit more complex to set up. So I think some people might find it a bit annoying, and I think other people are gonna find it really fun.
Lately there ain't been no competition for the player. Working all day long, this repetition got my...
Alright guys, I'm really excited to show you this whole new LUT workflow here. The major thing behind this whole setup here is this LUT button. This is the magic trick right here. Y'all built your house on the game, never even stepped in the field. When's the last time you picked up a camera and used it for what it was made for? Try using these tools for what they're made of instead of just bitching about the specs. And you're a part of the system, you're not above it. So get the fuck off your high horse. Click this. That little menu comes up. From there, I can scrub through all of my different presets. Again, you can save up to 39 presets, which is freaking wild. There's also stock ones that it comes with, and they actually look pretty cool. So I'm gonna run through here. I'm gonna go to my personal preset that I've made so far. This, so far, looks the most like film in my eyes. Connor McCaskill would disagree, but he doesn't like anything.
They look just like film.
Just like on Fujifilm simulations, you guys know you're able to go in and you do all your like customizations. You can pretty much do the same thing on here, which I don't know why anybody else hasn't talked about this. So I'm gonna go to my quick menu. You can customize every little option here. You can see over here, I actually have my focus peaking right here. I have my custom crop ratios right here. This is that amazing X-Pan mode. I will be doing a comparison video to the Fuji TX1 X-Pan film camera. So even though this is my own preset that I created, I still go through and I customize it depending on the day and the environment and the vibe that I'm going for. Before I move into showing the app to you guys, let's go outside real quick and show you what all these presets look like. All right guys, this is just the standard Vlog 709 LUT being applied to this. When we go over, this is actually the profiles that come with this camera built in. You could delete these, you could replace them, or you could just keep them there. I just keep them there. Our next one here is the smoky color. We have clear S, backlight, and FilmLike version 2. Again, these are all the built-in ones. Now we start getting into my profiles that I made here. As I was in Japan, I kept making a bunch of different ones. So we have the original Roadrunner. This one's more of a neutral look, but it still has like that film contrast and some subtle film hues into there. This is like the least baked in look that I offer. When we go to 2, you see all of a sudden we start turning up the look and we get more of a, you know, like a printed film look. Version 3 just kind of pushes that. It almost looks like we underexposed the film and then pushed it in developing. And then number 4, this is probably my favorite one. It has similar contrast to that push film look, but I just go more for that natural, like, you know, saturated blue but warm highlight type look here. When it comes to the Fujifilm simulations, the only way to actually get a unique look out of those cameras is to adjust the tint. That's really all it is. So on here, we can also do the same thing. You can go through and you could customize your tint to, you know, really dial in the preset. So when you get these LUTs, feel free to go into your white balance, into your tint, really customize it to tune it up to your own eye and the type of look that you like. I'm gonna go and turn on my grain effect there. I could turn up the saturation a little bit, crush the shadows. I go and lift the highlights. So you can see, you can really dial this in. It's almost like having an editor within your camera. Now that we went over that though, let's go into the phone app and see what's going on there. So you can see once the camera's connected, we could do transfer photo or we could do LUT transfer. From here, we basically have all the LUTs that I've created. Then you see if we go over to download, this is where the LUT library is. So from here, we have creators LUTs, we have trending LUTs. Cool is you could go in and if you have a favorite creator in here, they can submit their LUTs and you can use their LUTs. Let's go back to our LUT library over here. So you can see up here, it says camera. This is all the LUTs that are directly on our camera right now. Let's go to device. So now this is all the LUTs saved within the app. These LUTs are all available on my phone here. What's cool though is I could go and I could click on one of these LUTs here. I could transfer it to the camera. I can change the name or I can share it. What's cool is when you go to share, from there I was able to either text it to my homies or I go to AirDrop. I can save it to my files and then send them from there if I need to. There's like a dozen different ways that you can share your LUTs here. But anyways, let me show you how I made some of my LUTs. The main trick here, let me go back to the camera real quick. So when you're about to create your own custom LUT, there's one important step that you really have to do. You have to choose what your base profile is going to be. If you use Vlog, you might run into an issue. That issue being your ISO gets locked to 640. You can't go below that ISO. So once I figured that out, I went and found a profile that I liked, and that one was the FilmLike version 2. The reason I chose this one, because again, we have the full ISO range here. So let me just take a photo here. This is gonna be a really bad example because we don't have a lot of tones in this, but so I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna download that photo there. And there we go. I'm just gonna exit back out of that. I'm going to go to LUT transfer. Now we have that new photo. So you can see there's already kind of a cool look. Like I actually like that Cine V2 profile, whatever the hell it's called. You could just simply apply one of Panasonic's looks that they're offering you. The tilt flat actually looks great on there, but you also see we have the profiles that I made as well in here. But let's just go to tools. This is where this gets really exciting here, guys. From here, you see we have all these settings. You could just simply go in, you could dial in your contrast, lower the highlights. There's a million different things. I believe these tools work very similar to the quick menu that I showed you on the camera itself. We have color, so you could adjust the tint from here. You could do the white balance, you could boost the saturation. Where it gets more interesting, where I kind of wish Fujifilm offered options like this, is we have an HSL. So you see we have my fake tree over here. I'm gonna go to the greens, I'm gonna desaturate a little bit. Let's push some more minty. You see the yellows kind of, I want them to be a little bit more orange. I'm gonna put that over there. I'm gonna desaturate those a little bit. If you wanted to, you could do that classic teal and orange look. Personally, I like doing that in a more professional way, which maybe I'll show you guys how to do that a little bit here. We have the whole HSL tool right there. From here, we have tone curves. Tone curves is where the magic happens. Just say we want to like do, a standard S curve on here. We could do that, and then we could raise our shadows up here. People think like this is the easy way to get a film look. This is not how you get a film look. This looks more just like a matted digital look. We also have RGB curves in here. This is where the magic really happens. It's up to your own creativity to figure out what you want to do. We're just going to reset all of these modes here. From here, we also have split toning. This could be a very dangerous tool because you can see you could really overcook your stuff there. Let's kind of put a purple hue in those shadows, pump the saturation, let's go a little bit more orangey. Let's go back to our shadows, let's pump that purple hue back in those shadows there. From here, there's also effects, so you can apply grain. This is another tool that I don't think translates over to the camera. But from here, all we have to do is we could go up here, we could do create LUT, or we could say photo, or we could share. I'm gonna do create LUT, crapoe, film LUT. We're running with it. The photo style, this is very important. This is referencing what photo profile this was made for. So let's just go to set. Let's go back to our LUT library down here. Let's go to device. Now you can see our new LUT has been created. We could transfer to camera, we could change the name, or we can share it. This is what's super cool. Again, as I was creating these LUTs on the fly, I was able to share it with all my friends and they were able to import them on the spot into their camera. There's nothing else on the market that does this. This is why we're obsessing over this. Anybody that might call us a shill or saying we're overhyping the camera, we are not. Imagine being able to create your own edits, your own look, and bake them truly into the camera, not having to edit your photos. Obviously, I'm not going to use this for a professional shoot, a professional fashion shoot, like a $20,000 paying commercial job, whatever it is. Obviously, I'm not going to use this. I might use this for a reference or to have fun on a shoot because I do like having fun on commercial shoots still. But this isn't going to be something where I'm going to deliver it like this unless, the client ends up loving it, which I wouldn't be shocked these days because half the time they're asking you to shoot on your damn phone, which is wild. So yeah, but let's just transfer to the camera here. Let's choose the slot that we're going to save it to. Let's save it in our slot 18 there. And there you go. Now it is officially on your camera. From here, I'm just going to click LUT. I'm going to go over. These are all the previous LUTs that I made. And you see, boom, there's the new LUT that we just created. You guys can imagine as you start doing this more, within minutes, you'll be able to create looks on the spot, on the fly, while you're on location, while you're taking a road trip. You could be on an airplane, you could be picking your nose, whatever you're doing. You'll be able to create profiles on the spot, live, send them straight to your camera, and you're immediately shooting with that. And once again, we go in the quick menu here. We could go and we could customize it. I'm gonna turn on my film grain here. I'm gonna turn it to standard. I'm gonna lower the highlights. I'm gonna lift the shadows. I'm gonna turn the sharpness all the way off. I'm gonna go on my saturation. I'm gonna boost that up. I go on my Kelvin. I could choose which Kelvin I wanna choose from here. This is pretty much what we've been dreaming every other camera manufacturer to do. Fujifilm has been kind of running the gamut when it comes to, FilmLike profiles and getting images that are a little bit more inspiring through the viewfinder. Joke, because we don't have a viewfinder on this camera. This is why I believe this thing is going to be the Fujifilm killer. If only they put that viewfinder on here, gave us a metal build body, maybe do a fixed lens version with a viewfinder, give us an actual hot shoe on here. LUMIX, if you made a brass version of this camera, oh my God, I would, But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I've been loving this camera and this lens setup. And yes, I went to Japan. Yes, LUMIX flew me out. Yes, they gave me a long-term loaner on this. I could literally give a fuck about that. I genuinely love this camera. I wouldn't be talking about it and I wouldn't be making these videos unless I truly was, passionate about this. So that's it. I'm done. Peace.
Hey, I need to be with the vibes at. Know they never can stop me. I'ma be myself and be free because I know that they watching me. Ooh, I walk in and the party get better. Ain't no me, must got a vendetta. Our house got it, then we won't let up.